So my name is Aaron Johnson, and I've been in ministry for 13 years now as a youth pastor, associate pastor. Married, got 3 girls, so I'm a girl dad. Yeah, so for me, it really started at a heart level, man. Been in ministry for 13 years, primarily youth ministry, but God just started changing the desires of my heart. And it was interesting, my wife and I both kind of at the same time, we started all of a sudden being jealous of our friends that were working in secular environments, right? I was kind of thinking about my time frame and being man, I spend 90% of my time around Christians. And just felt very much I was in this Christian bubble all the time, which is not a bad thing. I'm discipling, doing God's work. But at the same time, we just had this burden for our neighbors and for people that didn't know Jesus. And God really started changing that desire in our hearts. And so we just kind of wanted to we kind of know our neighbors, but not know our neighbors. And so we just started being present with our neighbors. And that was really kind of the start of the call for us into something new. At the same time, our church was also praying through how they could effectively do outreach. So they had this renewal to say man, we want to be back in our community and reach people for Jesus. And so at a leadership level, we started praying through that and working that way. And these two things kind of came in line. So I felt drawn to this. At the same time, we felt called to this as a leadership. And then we started looking in our area, and we have a heart for small town, rural Canada. And we're realizing we're looking around our a map of our area, and there's all these little villages, all these little towns that have no church, no gospel presence. That idea of rather than kind of going bigger and trying to have people come and see, but actually being missional, going out to the people, being incarnational in a place. And so through that, God led us to a small town that's only 10 minutes north of where we are, but a place where there is no church and no gospel presence. Yeah, so as soon as I felt this desire in my heart, I started asking people, godly people in my life that I trust, respect, people around me, hey, is this something that you could actually see me doing? So that kind of went through, my lead pastor, our elders, obviously guys from the fellowship. And then from there, we started praying and discerning and seeking the church as a whole, hey, because it's not just me, my wife, my family, but our church wanted to outreach and do this. And so it kind of took our whole church rallying to say we feel this is God's call for us. And we prayed and discerned and went through that process together so that they're sending us out and we're actually multiplying rather than just being just leaving and going off and doing our own thing. As we started discerning where, that was a big key piece for us. I was able to take a church planting course, and over the week of that course, that totally solidified in my heart that this is where God was calling me to have guys from the fellowship come alongside and to train and to coach and to kind of just ask and prod those questions, making sure you're not doing this for the wrong reasons. That was extremely helpful, but also scary at the same time. As we started actually looking for properties and places, God closed doors, He opened other opportunities, and then we came to this small town of Hensall where there is no church presence. And I walk in looking for there's a property on the main street, completely empty. I was like, oh, maybe we can use that space, renovate it, we have a building spot. So I go into the pharmacy in town to ask the guy, hey, do you know who owns that building? And the pharmacist didn't know who it was, but he asked me, hey, well, what are you looking for a building for? I said, well, we're interested in planting a church somewhere in this area, and we're looking for a building. And the guy's eyeballs about popped out of his head, right? This is what he had been actually praying for 3 years. If God is convicting your heart and you feel drawn to something, I would say go after it. Step out of faith, be courageous, and just talk. Share this calling, this vision, this heart that you have for something new with somebody that you trust. Hopefully maybe that's a pastor or mentor at your church. But also if you're kind of I don't know where our church is at and maybe they're not into the whole church planting thing, reach out to the fellowship. That was kind of the first step for us to get clarity onto what church planting is. But Tom, Mark, the whole team there are happy to come alongside you. And for us, we went into it very open, hey, maybe this is for us, but maybe not, but we want to explore this. And it was great for them to come alongside and help us discern through God's will for our lives.
If you, like Aaron, want to reach your neighbors for Jesus Christ, we would love to help you explore the call of planting a church. And if your church needs to plant a daughter church or a site, we'd also love to help you navigate that. Contact us.